Hi there, I'm Suzette Kroll, registered dietitian. I'm your personal nutrition guide. This month, your nutrition goal is to understand carbohydrates, or carbs as they're commonly called. My hope is that this is the month you finally really understand the deal with carbs. We're going to be working on eating less processed packaged carbohydrates and learning to eat small amounts of the so-called good carbs. Carbs are found in many foods, including fruit, starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes and turnips and parsnips, beans and lentils, grains like oats and barley and rye, foods made from grains like bread and pasta and crackers and snack foods, sweets, we all know what those are, sugar sweeteners like sugar and honey, and beverages sweetened with sugar like soda. The so-called good carbs are the beans and lentils, the starchy vegetables, quinoa, and grains like oats and brown rice. Now, it's interesting when I take a diet history and listen to what someone eats, it's very rare to hear about any of these. These are typically the carbs I hear about. We eat bread, pasta, white rice, cereal, and snack foods like crackers, chips, pretzels, and those snack packs. Well, these are processed carbohydrates, and the problem with them is that in the processing, the fiber is removed, so is water and a lot of the vitamins. So the issue with these kind of foods is that they're not that filling. We need to eat a lot of them. We can eat a lot of them and they're addicting. And eating a lot of them means more calories, and more calories are what makes us gain weight. So this month we're going to be working on eating less of these and making substitutions for them. Take a look at a jelly bean versus a bean to see how carbohydrates are not created equally. You can eat 25 jelly beans or a half a cup of beans and take in about the same amount of carbohydrate, around 20-ish grams. However, you feel quite different after you eat jelly beans versus black beans, right? You can eat 25 jelly beans and you're not that full. You probably could go on and eat 30 or 40 or 50. But when you eat a half a cup of beans, you're quite full from that, satisfied, and it's highly unlikely you're going to go binge on more and more of those beans. So if we just throw out a food based on its carb content, we might skip eating the beans just based on the fact that they have carbs. And that's not right. Carbs are not created equally. The difference has everything to do with their chemical structure. So bear with me for just a minute. We're going to talk a little bit of chemistry here. Carbs are simply chains of sugars linked together like that. They look kind of like a necklace. So these chains can be straight or branched, and the chains can be short or long. The length of the chain and how much branching it has determines how fast a carbohydrate's digested. So this short chain here is what the carbohydrate shape looks like in the jelly bean. That short chain means that it's digested quick, therefore we can eat a lot of it, and it doesn't stick with us for very long, so we can go on and eat more and more jelly beans. This longer chain carbohydrate is like the structure of the carbohydrate in the black bean. Because the chain is long, it takes longer to digest. Therefore, we eat a small amount of beans and feel full, and we stay fuller longer. And then this bottom one is the branched chain carbohydrate. This is the structure of the carbohydrate in bread and crackers and maybe cereal and snack foods. The branched chain gets digested quick like the short chain. So that's why these kind of foods, bread and crackers and snack foods, you can eat a lot of them and you're not that full from them. You need a lot of them to feel satisfied, and you're hungry quite soon afterward. So consider the company a carbohydrate keeps before you throw it under the bus. Jelly beans are all carb. They travel with nothing but sugar. Beans have just about the same amount of carb in the portions that we looked at when we compared the two, but the beans travel with fiber, protein, and potassium, things that are all good for you. Now, knowing this, if you were now offered a snack in the afternoon, should you have a sweet potato, a baked sweet potato, or low-carb chips, which would you choose? Hopefully you know now that the answer is sweet potato. Previously, you might have opted not to have the sweet potato because of the carb count, but a sweet potato is a whole food. It grew out of the ground. That's a giveaway that it's a good carb. The low-carb chips did not grow directly out of the ground. They had to be processed in some way to become those chips in the first place. This sweet potato is slow digesting. You can eat a small amount and feel satisfied, and you'll stay full for a long period of time. And that's important. We don't want to choose food simply based on its carb count or lack of carb count. That's the take home here. Your patterns of eating are more important than any single food you eat or don't eat. Now, if you are choosing foods that come in a package, you do want to read the ingredient list. So here you're looking at two different labels from oatmeals, two different oatmeals. The top one, you can see the only thing in the ingredient list is whole grain oats. The bottom one, you've got oats, but then you also have sugar, artificial flavor, sucralose, which is artificial sweetener, and caramel color, which is coloring. So you've got a lot of baggage here with this oatmeal. So this one's not a good choice, and the top one is. So read ingredient lists. This slide is showing you that the 1 gram of protein has 4 calories and 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories. That means gram for gram, carbohydrate is no more fattening than protein. They are the same exact calories, gram for gram. All right, so this month we are working on learning to eat the so-called good carbohydrates and making swaps for those processed carbohydrates. So the processed ones, again, we're calling bread, tortilla, maybe taco shell, tostada, pasta, white rice. These are veggie swaps, and you heard about these the first month when we talked about eating more vegetables. So if you have forgotten this or if you've gotten away from it, you've got another chance this month. For bread, you can use romaine lettuce leaves and make wraps or roll-ups. You can try collard green leaves in lieu of tortillas this month. Collard greens are heavier and thicker, kind of like a tortilla. For taco shells, you can swap out and use a cabbage leaf. They're nice and crunchy like the taco shells. For a tostada shell, try a jicama. Get a very large jicama, cut it vertically so you have nice big flat rounds, and those are a great swap for tostada shells. For pasta, use spiralized vegetables like spiralized zucchini, carrot, and beets, or try a spaghetti squash this month. And for your white rice, use riced or grated cauliflower in place of the rice. For cereal, stop buying the boxed cereal from the cereal aisle. Just skip that aisle altogether. Try hot cereal if you must, old-fashioned oats, steel-cut oats, or even try cooked quinoa for breakfast. It's great with some berries on top and a little bit of unsweetened almond milk. And for your snack foods, try to use produce, those vegetables and fruits, or just eat a mini meal, some leftover dinner, or real food like a hard-boiled egg or some tuna salad. Learn to eat more of these good carbs, the quality carbs, the starchy vegetables, beets, squash, sweet potatoes, turnips, parsnips, jicama, the potatoes even on that list you see. It is fine to eat a potato, just don't load it up with butter and sour cream, and don't fry it and eat French fries and justify that you're eating potatoes. That does not count. It's a lot easier to improve diet by addition than subtraction. So if you focus on eating more of these, some of the processed packaged carbohydrates just fall away naturally. For example, I'll bring up that sweet potato again. You could actually eat it for breakfast. A baked sweet potato, top it with plain Greek yogurt or cottage cheese and sprinkle some cinnamon on top. And now the cereal doesn't even have a place. You don't even need to buy it. If you're focusing on eating black bean soup or lentil soup for lunch, you don't even need to worry about bread. If you're trying to eat quinoa and learning how to prepare it, you don't even need to worry about the white rice anymore. Get it? Our Pinterest, Tucson Bariatric Pinterest account, there's a healthy carbohydrate board there where you can learn more ways, see all the recipes and ways to eat all of these healthy, good carbohydrates. Okay, in summary, this month we're working on making better choices with bread, pasta, rice, cereal, and snack foods. Pay particular attention to these. For most everybody, these need some work. Choose more of the good carbs, beans, lentils, starchy vegetables, oats, brown rice, and quinoa. If you're still a little bit hesitant because you have watched carb grams for so long, if you need a hint or some help with the servings, limit it to 1 or 2 servings per day, and you can use a half a cup to a cup as a portion size, or if you like calories, you can use 150 calories as a guideline for appropriate portioning. These good carbs should be self-limiting. You shouldn't be able to overeat them. But again, if you're a little worried still or hesitant or not quite believing, go ahead and use these guidelines for serving sizes. Keep eating your pound of vegetables every day and keep eating your fruit. Remember, each month is building upon the previous month, and we're slowly but surely building a set of healthy eating habits. If you need further help, please feel free to make an appointment. I'm Suzette Kroll, registered dietitian. I'm your personal nutrition guide. I'd be happy to help you. Have a great month, and we'll see you next time.